Hey, I'm Brian Richardson. This is my buddy Crispy.
Hey, DragonCon.
It's DragonCon time, that's right. We are here to talk about all the cool things we're going to do on Video DragonCon this year. What is Video DragonCon?
What is Video DragonCon?
That's a great question. I'm glad I asked you to ask me that. Anyway, point being, Video DragonCon is our YouTube channel on YouTube for DragonCon. Obviously, it's the official channel of DragonCon, so subscribe to Video DragonCon before the con starts. You can also find the link at dragoncon.org and the app. We got that super cool DragonCon app. It's going to be linked to Video DragonCon's YouTube channel. Now, why is that important? Well,
why is that important?
I see you keep asking these great questions.
That's what I'm here for.
That's why I love you.
Yes.
All right, so why is this important? During the convention, we do great things like the Late Show, which
Late
comes
Show's
on
a big
at
product.
9 a.m. Did you get up at 9 a.m.? No.
I had to.
So, you're going to have to go back later and watch to get the latest news that happened at DragonCon. It'll be on YouTube. Also, Crispy and I over the years have been doing these great interviews, which you can see in the archives of our video channel, but we're at the Loft, near the Pulse Bar in the Marriott. Crispy, why are we here?
Well, one thing that we're really striving to bring this year is we want to be able to identify our convention. We want to be able to show you one of our fantastic interviews, and you should be able to know that is obviously DragonCon.
Absolutely.
So one thing that we talked about was what makes DragonCon DragonCon. One thing that we heard uniform from the guests that we interviewed over the last few years is that even though they go to other shows that we're not going to name, they tend to prefer our costumes here over any other show, and they love the atmosphere, the energy of the fans that are actually here. We get a lot of compliments on it. This is their go-to show. This is a must-stop show. So we figured out a way to translate that and showcase that by using this space that we're using now for interviews. Now, we're only doing this one day this year. We're going to try it out. We're going to look forward to your feedback, and we're going to see how it looks, if you dig it. Now, we're going to be up here all day on Friday during DragonCon, so feel free to come out, check it out. We're going to have some really big name guests up here. We're going to really elevate, literally, and
like there's a guardrail, because that's a long way down.
That's a pretty far way down. So,
and if this was actually DragonCon, this would just be teeming with like stormtroopers, invaders, and monarch henchmen, and Sphinx. Anyway, but yeah, so we can now actually showcase all the cool stuff that happens during the convention.
Yeah, we really want to make it easy to identify us, and we feel like by doing so, it's going to really make our product shine. It's going to make us identifiable and much more enjoyable that way.
And the nice thing is that because we've got a really good staff of volunteers working with us, all this stuff's going to happen roughly the same day. So if we do interviews during the con, they're going to get put on the internet during the con.
During the con.
Our archives have typically been put out onto the intertubes after the convention. That's why we have this nice archive from 2012 and some of our past shows already up on YouTube. But this year, you have friends that didn't come to DragonCon. We put up a video. You can tweet and go, "Why aren't you here? Look at this awesome thing." Send.
It's pretty awesome.
And that'll happen during the show.
Yeah, and keep an eye out. We haven't formally decided this, but keep an eye out on assorted social medias.
Yes.
We're going to try to find a way to give you a behind-the-scenes view of these interviews that are only during the convention, one-time deals.
You can see how cheap our tripods are, how much duct tape we use.
It's a lot of duct tape.
It is an enormous. Well, it's supposed to be gaff tape. That's the stuff that the guys really like, but sometimes it's duct tape.
Hey.
There may be actually ducks involved. You don't know because you haven't seen behind the scenes yet. We're going to try to fix it.
There might be ducks in costume. Who knows? I mean,
it's a duck world.
Anything can happen. It's a duck-eat-duck world. That sounds really terrifying.
No, not really. Anyway, we're going to wrap this up before we make any more horrible comparisons to waterfowl of any kind. So for Crispy, I'm Brian. And make sure you show up at DragonCon this year and watch us on YouTube.